My name is Michael, and I'm a student in Miracosta College, and I'll be graduating with an associate's degree in digital photography, an associate's in creative and applied arts, and an associate's in film, media, and television.
Hi, my name is Anna Castro. I'm 27 years old, and I studied here at San Diego State University. I got my bachelor's in social work, and I came back for my master's.
I'm Aaron Pischke Jr. I just graduated from San Diego Mesa College with a AS in Business Administration. I'm planning to transfer to a 4-year to get my bachelor's degree in marketing.
I knew that no matter what it was going to take for me to get enrolled or to figure out, the FAFSA, the financials of it, I was going to find out, and I was going to see if there were any resources for individuals like me coming from, a foster youth background. And so I actually got connected with Just in Time because of my research. So I would say that College Bound was like I said, it was my first service, and it's kind of what introduced me to this wonderful organization. So yeah, I would say having a mentorship was definitely something that really impacted me in a positive way, because now I had someone who has been through the educational system and who was able to kind of help me and navigate me through the experience. It was really nice to be able to get all of the supplies that I needed for school. These were going to be things that maybe I didn't have the funds for, or I wasn't going to be able to, get the supplies that I needed. And I feel like by doing this, it really just helped, I guess, like my mindset be in the right place. And it just motivated me to be excited about going to school, knowing that I have, a laptop, a printer, all of the cute little supplies that I chose during my shopping spree. So I feel like it just added to that excitement that was coming.
One of my mentors and former academic counselor, Sade Burrell, she told me about Just in Time. The first reason she told me about Just in Time was because we were trying to get funding for me in my study abroad. I was able to meet my mentor, who is now Annie Martin, who is also in marketing and has pretty much just been there for me since she got put to be my mentor. I think the most valuable thing that she told me was that nobody will die because, you didn't do this thing in your marketing job. With that little, jokey thing that she said, it really hit me, because people deserve breaks and people deserve to have their time off and, take a mental day off. So being able to hear that from someone who is in a high position like her, it really hit me in a different way.
I think there's so many things that make Just in Time impactful for individuals. I think it's the community. I think it's the resources. I think it's the language that people use around here, and being intentional about us not being in a system or us not being simply in an organization, but being in a community. I think what's important is the change in people that is made here, the workshops that are hosted with specific topics to help improve people's lives and make good change in their lives. So one impactful relationship I have here is with Scott LeBar. I think we're like-minded in so many ways and have so many of the same values that we just click and have these impactful conversations that lead to us making better change in our lives.
If someone were to ask me, what's the reason you're doing this for, and what's your main drive, I would definitely say it's for my brother. My brother, when I was in high school, I was 2 months away from graduating, and my brother, who was also my best friend, passed away. I couldn't even get out of bed, let alone take myself to school. And so it was really difficult to navigate that experience, because, you wake up one day and the person that is in the room next to you is no longer there. Having my brother pass away at such a very young age, I was 17 years old, I knew that I had to live the life that he wanted to live.
I entered the foster care system at 12 years old, had no family really to talk to or friends, and it was a really depressing time for me. I really started not to do well in school because I just didn't have any ambition anymore. The only thing that was really keeping me sane was playing baseball. Because my grades were really poor, I stopped. I wasn't academically eligible, which led to me being even more shut out from things.
I decided to go to college because I was feeling lost during COVID. I didn't have any support in getting into college. It was a long and confusing process. I wanted to do so many things when I was young. I think the first thing I ever wanted to be was an architect, because I love to play with Legos. And I had a cousin who was going to Stanford who I was in foster care with. He would encourage me to push above and beyond in like the interests I had. So taking Legos and becoming something big like an engineer, architect was something that he helped imbue in me. I realized I was very bad at illustration and didn't have the patience to do illustration. So I figured what's something I can do that doesn't require illustration and art, and photography came to mind.
Education was important to me because for me it was a way out of the generational curses that I have in my family and in my bloodline. I would say I needed to make it out, and the only way out for me was gaining an education, a higher education, to be able to escape, you know, the poverty and all of the barriers that were placed on me as a child and in my life. So there were times where I didn't want to get up and go to class. I didn't want to, you know, do my homework or this like 15-page essay. But I think really just like grounding myself and really reminding myself why I'm doing this, all of the success that I have completed thus far, I feel like that was my main motivator, knowing that I had been, you know, so far along. I had already broken, you know, like the statistic of a foster child not being able to pursue a higher education. Knowing that I had already achieved that, I feel like there was no room for me to stop. There was no room for me to give up and to not, you know, continue doing all of that, because it was a lot of work. I had to complete my master's in 1 year. And so that meant more homework, more like workload on me, and less time for myself. So yes, there were times I would say where I did want to give up, but never give up the hope, because hope is what's going to really feed that fuel that you have inside, right, to want to succeed.
Italy was the #1 country that I wanted to go to. We signed up for the trip through the Next Up program, which is a part of EOPS in Mesa. I think it was over like $12,000 because, as everyone probably knows, study abroad is not cheap. And I think Just in Time gave me $5,000. I was able to experience a lot of Europe and be able to see a culture that, you know, a lot of people who look like me aren't really able to do. When I called my mom to talk to her about how Italy was going, how you know, I got settled in, she told my cousin about me going to Italy, and she started crying. I was like, why was she crying? And my mom was like, because she's just so happy and proud of you, and you know, she realizes that, not, like I said, not many people of my color are able to, you know, experience these things, and especially to experience it so young.
To think that I could begin to build an entire career within 2 years from having zero skills to where I'm at now was unbelievable to me. I never seen it being possible. Now, due to those experiences, I'm a testament to it being possible and it impacting other people for them to do the same. I've developed in so many ways that I lose count of the ways. One being in communication. I never thought I would be an outgoing person or a person who's so inclined to speak publicly, but I am now due to a lot of experiences I had at community college, being in club leadership, being in the student government. I think my younger self would be in disbelief of the things I'm doing now.
So I was always fascinated about having a career and going like the educational route. Did I ever think I was going to be able to be one of those people? Definitely not. Only because there was not really someone in my family or someone I was close to that I could look up to. When I first started my education career, I did start at community college. I went to Grossmont College, Maricosta College, and Southwestern College.
My younger self would probably call me a square, but but would also probably be looking up to me and being like, wow, this person like really cares and really wants to see others and himself be successful in anything that they want to do. The biggest thing for advice that I would give is make connections. You never know who's there to help you out, who's there to try and get you to your next step on where you want to go. Take your time to figure out what you want to do. Find out about clubs that you're interested in. Even after connections, you feel a sense of belonging and you feel that you belong there. And when you feel like you belong in somewhere, you start to give yourself that expectation of making it through and being consistent in what you do. Because, you know, there's gonna be people that see you, they're gonna be like, how are you? How's your classes going? And you always wanna have some good news for them, so.
I find it important to make that discernment for what I'm doing with the time and the skills themselves. If I'm solely using those skills for the sake of going to school, it's not going to make me a living. It's not going to make me connections. But if I take those skills and use them in places where there are people who are doing big things, where there are people who are looking for things that I can provide them, then I can make a living off of that and I can make an impact off of that.
One thing that I always remind myself too is that we didn't have control over our past. And so anything that happened to us, like, it's not our fault. And now that we do have some control over our lives, it is our responsibility to make sure that we work towards a life that we know that we deserve.
Rome wasn't built in a day, kind of cliche, talking about Italy, but it's real. Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to build yourself up so that you can be the best person that you can be. Going to somewhere that's, I don't even know, over like 5,000 miles away made me realize that there is something out there that's bigger than me. And I think that no matter what I'm going through, there's people out there too that are going through things as well. And we should just be able to support each other.
I think my brother would be very proud of me. I feel like he would be the first one to run up to me as soon as I walk down from the stage and give me a huge hug, because, you know, we both talked about all the time how important it was for us to succeed and to break those statistics and the barriers that were placed on us as children. And so I feel like if he was alive here today, he would be so happy for me, and I know that he would also have wanted to pursue a degree as well.